Okay, recording is in progress. Recording is in progress. Over to you, Ambassador James. Recording is in progress.
Yes. Greetings, everyone.
Greetings, good afternoon.
Okay. Greetings. Yes. Greetings, everyone. Marketing Officer for World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. I am glad to be here. Today is the last day and the fourth day of this training. For the volunteers on sustainable development goals of Nation 3, 4, 8, 9. Quickly one and say how far our students, volunteers have gone with this training. So officially, we want to welcome every one of you once again joining us in this training. Those that have joined us in the day 1, the 2, the 3, and today being the last day. We want to congratulate you. And we want to say thank you, Williams Jr., for what he has done for this 4 days, training us on the sustainable development goals. And we are not just doing this, we want a situation that every one of us will know and understand where we can fit in the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. It will help us in our various communities. It will help us in our daily activities as NGO, as humanitarian, as a volunteer, wherever we meet ourselves. And it's going to help us build a formidable teams among ourselves, working in synergy, working together to help each other with these different goals of the sustainable development goals. So it is a great pleasure having you all around today, most of the sustainable development goals. And after that, we're going to ask questions, and we want you to ask your question as well. And today there's going to be presentation of your certificates, those that have been with us since the beginning of this training until today. We're going to have your certificate, which is quite ready. We're going to display for you to see. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Why I would like So I will gladly hand over to Honorable Andrew Williams Jr. So over to you.
Well, thank you all very much. This is Andrew Williams Jr. I'm here in Los Angeles, California, where I'm president of the 5 Points Youth Foundation.org. We all have a special guest with us today, several special guests, but Augustine Joseph is from Pakistan. She was one of our first Facebook ambassadors in 2015, as was Ambassador James, Chaplain James as well. So we have a very special day today. I am going to briefly share with you my screen. This is an opportunity for us to visit the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. As many of you know or do not know, this is a global effort, and we'll make it very simple. We want to share with you this breakdown or presentation of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals in a very simple way. We hope that everyone will understand. The goals are arranged on 3 tiers, like a pyramid. And specifically, we're looking to share with you the SDG pyramid for happiness. At the very bottom of the goals are the people, we, us, all of us, to leave no one behind. These first 10 goals focus on people. The second tier deals with the ecological impact of the Sustainable Development Goals, and the top tier deals with the spiritual. I'm going to just briefly let this 1 minute video show.
The United Nations and world leaders launched 17.
And this will just be an animation of walking you through what the goals are.
Goals called the Sustainable Development Goals to make for a better and happier world. The first 10 goals are inclusiveness, humanitarian, social, and people problems.
As you can see, the world revolves around people, all of us, but then the ecology, and of course, the spiritual aspects of what we're trying to accomplish. Because we're not just human beings, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So with that, again, I do want to thank all of you for joining us. This is being brought to you by the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. We're based in Nigeria, but I have the pleasure of being the international chairperson or the chairperson of the International Advisory Board. So I want to thank all of you for joining us. We do have several goals to go through today, and then we'll do a review. So allow me to share my screen, and we'll do a brief walkthrough of what brought us here together and what will be taking us into the future. Just a moment, please. Technology is only great when it works. This is a presentation that's available to everyone here, anywhere in the world. This is going to be an open book test. It's not something you have to remember. You can always reach out and find more information about this, not just through the course of this workshop, but 24 hours a day, 65 days a year around the world. We chose this because today's topic is dealing with volunteers. This booklet was put together as a young person's guide for changing the world. And it was created in association with the United Nations volunteers. The organization, AHIABGA-TV, launched a program back in 2017 called Youth for Global Goals. And they did a survey of young people around the world about ways that they could become involved with what we know as the Sustainable Development Goals. So this was primarily oriented towards youth, organizations, and educational institutions. What we're asking you to do is to familiarize yourself with what these goals are, and then use this as a resource to be able for you, no matter where you are in the world, to be able to address what they call the decade of action to deliver the Sustainable Development Goals. For those of you just joining us, I'll recap. In September 2015, world leaders committed to the global goals for sustainable development. 17 goals to achieve 3 extraordinary things by 2030. End extreme poverty, fight inequality and injustice, and tackle climate change. Of course, this is not a new idea that was just begun in 2015. In fact, this is the second part of the Millennium Development Goals that were launched in 2000. The idea was for us to achieve peace on Earth during our lifetimes. So the first 15 years were focused on what was called the Millennium Development Goals, but those goals were developed by just a handful of people in the bottom of the basement of the United Nations building in New York. However, there's a much different aspect of the Sustainable Development Goals. In 2012, there began a worldwide survey of millions of people to determine how we could move forward. And the continent of Africa was on the forefront of that. At that time, they were developing what's called the African Union Agenda 2063, and they were looking for what's called the Common African Position on the post-Millennium Development Goals. Africa is the largest region to contribute to what we now know as the Sustainable Development Goals. AHIABGA-TV, however, is a global youth-led organization striving to achieve peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential by activating leadership qualities in youth through learning from practical experience in challenging environments. It is every young person's responsibility to take a positive role in the shaping of the future of our planet. And I hope sometime later today, we'll have an opportunity to introduce our youngest Goodwill ambassador from Pakistan. Again, this booklet was put together with the help of the UN volunteers. People on this call are not here because we're being paid to be here or because we expect to get paid to be here. We're here as volunteers to contribute our time, energy, and effort to accomplishing one or more of these sustainable development goals. This booklet provides 3 areas that can assist us. It provides for help in raising awareness, help in expanding our understanding, and specific action items we can take in our local communities, no matter where we are in the world. Again, this is the Young Person Guide to Transforming Our World. So we begin with the youth. I'm 65 years old, and by the time the end of the decade comes here, I'll be much older than I am now. But all of my work is not focused on my life. It is focused on the lives of the children that are coming behind us. So this is a do-it-yourself, DIY, level 1, to allow any of you or any of us to find ways we can begin to make a change, the change we want to see right now. Level 1 is do it yourself, choose what matters to you and act. Level 2, tell them about the guide and the efforts they take. Number 3, mobilize your community. I'm going to walk through these relatively fast, and then we'll have our presentation because there will be certificates issued at the end of the day's event. But this guide is available online. Please make sure we have your email address. Everyone that attends will get a copy of this guide. So I'm not going to read all this to you. You can read it at your own convenience, but we do have a worldwide audience. This is being streamed to my Facebook page, and we'll provide the YouTube link for the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity Facebook page as well. But this was focused on business, non-governmental organizations, and community service organizations and educational institutions. I'm going to briefly go through the first set of goals that brought us to where we are. Again, we're going to begin with no poverty. SDG number 1, no poverty. SDG number 2 is zero hunger. SDG 3 is good health and well-being. SDG 4 is quality education. SDG 5 is gender equality. SDG 6, clean water and sanitation. SDG 7 is clean energy. Oops. One more time. SDG 7 is affordable and clean energy. SDG 8 is decent work and economic growth. SDG 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. SDG 10 is reduce inequalities. SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities. And yesterday, we ended with SDG 12, responsible consumption and production. I'm going to now begin our presentation for today. It begins with SDG 13, climate action. What is it all about? The intent is to increase the capacity on facing natural disasters and to provide education and awareness on climate change. Yes, it's real. 97% of climate scientists agree that climate warming trends over the past century are very likely due to human activities. Unless humankind will start an urgent action to combat climate change, our home, planet Earth, will be in extreme danger. How to prevent the advancement of climate change. Your organization can deliver workshops on what to do in case of disasters. Get in touch with the institutions in charge of natural disasters in order to create the workshop in the best way. Excuse me just a moment. Thank you. And you have to take responsibility. If there are no institutions in your area, then we will be forced to take action ourselves. It seems as though someone is unfortunately making marks on the screen, so I'm going to have to stop sharing them again in just a moment. Thank you for your patience. Just a moment here. Okay, going back to our presentation. How to prevent, let's see here, I apologize just a moment. How to prevent the advancement of climate change. You can deliver workshops on what to do in case of disasters. If there are no local institutions in your area that take responsibility of that, that allows you or your nonprofit or your group to take action and also take charge and take responsibility for making these things get done. You can make a change by where you spend your money. You can buy eco-friendly products. Check out packages to see if products are produced in an eco-friendly way. Buying eco-friendly products helps to reduce environmental impact from their production and consumption. For those of us in urban areas, you can track your carbon footprint and create an action plan to support the environment. You can find an online footprint tracker to measure your own emissions and set goals to reduce it. You can consume less meat, become vegetarian for 1 day a week. The meat production industry has a large impact on environment, so by consuming less meat, you decrease it. I'll have to ask you to all mute yourselves and allow me to make this presentation. Then we can open up the floor for participants. Keep your tires inflated for those of you who drive for lower gas consumption. You can deliver a training session on how to prevent climate change. Recycling is another option. The less waste, the safer for the environment. Separate your paper, glass, plastics, metals, old electronics. All of them can be recycled. Bring them to the nearest recycling center. Again, if you're a non-governmental organization and there is not an effort like this, then you can add this to your action plan and your own ideas of how to improve your local community. Of course, turning off the lights is something you can do to reduce usage of electricity when you're not using them. Also, take public transport or bikes. Number 14, life below water. What is it about? The intent is to reduce marine pollution and overfishing and illegal fishing practices. Provide equal opportunities for small-scale fishers. Protect your oceans and marine ecosystems. Please realize that everything gets back to your plate. The ocean is not our garbage bin. It's just as important for you to pay attention to your local rivers and also your local water sources as it is for the ocean. As much as 40% of the world's oceans are heavily affected by human activities. Moreover, over 3 billion people depend on marine and coastal biodiversity for their livelihoods. Simply put, almost half of the world's population relies on the ocean to exist. And for those of you who live in coastal communities, I'm sure you're aware of how important climate change has to do on your local activities. There are ways that you can start taking action to, there are ways that you can start taking actions for our oceans. Please think about creating campaigns on plastic usage. Run a campaign about the effects of wrong plastic disposals for seas and oceans. and then take a further step and provide ways that your local community can provide or create recycling projects for your own areas to keep plastic out of our oceans. You can educate your friends on the importance of oceans and marine resources. There was a Youth Speak survey, but only 2% of young people choose what they would contribute to life underwater. This means that youth is missing out on the knowledge, while sustaining clean oceans is important for our everyday life. Again, this is an opportunity for you to be the ones to accelerate change in this particular area. You can make a series of TED Talk style presentations about the role of oceans in your life to show them a YouTube channel series about impacts of waste on the oceans and lives of their inhabitants. You individually can be conscious about waste disposal and its effects on oceans. Look for tips about water disposal to eliminate negative impact on the marine ecosystem, especially related to glass, plastic, batteries, and others. You yourself can stop using plastic bags. Usage and wrong disposal of plastic is a major cause of marine pollution. Convince your parents to stop using plastic bags in your household. Create a cleanup project for rivers and oceans. As mentioned in Goal 6, Clean Water, you can engage your friends and family to clean up a local river, seaside, or ocean near you. Make it a bigger event on Facebook to get support from more people who also want to help. Even though this is directed towards youth, please, the non-governmental organizations that are attending here, take this on as a challenge and opportunity for you to improve the water in your area. Of course, we can all never throw trash in rivers or waters and call out those who do. You may also support small-scale producers by shopping in local markets and shops. When buying, check whether the farmer has needed documents to run a fishing business. It's very important for you to understand that there are guidelines to making sure that the food you eat is safe to eat. And there are not regulations in all parts of the world, but it's very important that you identify those who are providing safety measures to make sure that the food you take out of the ocean and goes on your plate is safe for you. SDG 15, Life on Land. What is it about? Preserving the number of forests and mountains, preventing the extinction of threatened species, sustaining fertile soil and land, protecting wildlife, and preventing poaching. Keep in mind, the forests do not belong to us. Forests are home to more than 80% of all terrestrial species of animals, plants, and insects. However, it is our role to take care of them and other land ecosystems to sustain our land. Anyone can help, and if you're eager to do so, here are several ways that you can do that. You can join policy groups to promote protection of life on land. You can join or start an NGO or policy group to advocate for the protection of life on land through petitions to companies and governments, educational events in your local community, creating resolutions to support the cause, etc. This can help to start a discussion on this topic on the government or corporate level. Throw trash in the right place. By simply putting trash in a trash bin, you support the cleanliness of the soil, forests, mountains, which helps to avoid pollution of these ecosystems. Again, your NGO can make a very small step to add this to part of what your mission statement is, so that we are all contributing to addressing the solution. Locally, you can organize or join projects to help maintain or build biking or hiking trails. An important way to protect forests and mountains from human influence is to create means for both to coexist. You can create or organize a project which builds or maintains biking or hiking trails in your local forests or mountains. The simplest thing you may be able to do is dig a hole and put a seed in it. plant a tree. Make it a yearly resolution to plant a tree or more in your neighborhood, school garden, or forest nearby. You can even make a social media challenge or just a thing amongst your friends for them to join this idea. Those of you in Africa may know that Kenya has made a commitment and is getting praise for planting 1 billion trees. This will help deforestation efforts that are impacting our entire earth. We have to encourage you, Christians and those others that enjoy Christmas, not to buy Christmas trees. Convince your parents to substitute trees with perhaps a plastic one, and then reuse it from year to year instead of cutting down trees every year that will only last for a week or two and then be thrown away. Clean your local parks and forests. Again, you can organize your own or join an existing cleanup event to sustain the ecosystem of your local green space. It is easier than it sounds. Just grab a trash bag and collect and sort trash you find. Even one bag will make a difference. You can also recycle paper. You can help to avoid cutting more trees by using less and recycling paper. Store all the paper you don't need in a separate bin and take it to special recycling institutions or set up a special recycling process for your local community. Please stop using pesticides to protect and sustain the quality of our soil. Don't use chemicals while growing plants. It will help to reduce soil pollution. You can always choose natural fertilizers, and you may be even able to generate income streams by teaching your local community how to create and spread natural fertilizers. Please mute yourself until I complete my presentation. Thank you. Don't buy illegal plants or wildlife. You can help to prevent extinction of threatened species if you're checking the source and not buying illegal plants and animals. You can also check the list of endangered species in your country and globally online or in a local library. Unfortunately, climate change is forcing many animals into areas that previously humans were not inhabiting. And unfortunately, the threat of hunger forces us, in many cases, to add local endangered species to our menu. But it's important to educate yourself about what that means to our environment and make choices that have an impact on our long-term future. Don't buy products tested on animals. You can check the labels on products you buy. Check to see if they're tested on animals. Now, this is mostly applicable to cosmetics, foods, and medicine products. Additionally, you can search for lists online. Stop buying from companies that test their products on animals. That helps to sustain the diversity of wildlife and eliminate cruel practices against animals. Don't visit institutions that behave in a cruel way towards animals. Stop going to circuses with animals and attend only zoos and aquariums that take good care of their animals and environment. Don't buy fur or leather. Substitute fur and leather with falsewood or other materials to prevent cruel practices against animals in the fashion sector. You may also adopt house animals. You can save the life of an animal by adopting a pet and not buying one. Finally, you can volunteer with street animal organizations and shelters, or start one, to help sustain diversity and save lives of animal species by volunteering in organizations helping these pets as well as endangered species. This is Sustainable Development Goal number 16. This is why we're all here, because without peace, justice, and strong institutions, we can achieve none of the Sustainable Development Goals. So, what is it all about? Very simple. Reduce violence everywhere. End the violence and torture of children. Provide equal access to legal services. Reduce corruption and bribery. provide public access to information and protection of fundamental rights, be inclusive and representative in decision-making at all levels. Thank you for your patience. We are about to move to our last goal for today, but please pay attention as we focus on SDG 16. According to the United Nations, young people are not at the center of political decision-making, even though almost half of the world's population is under 30 years old. It is our right as young people to speak up for what we believe in and our voices to be represented in institutions of authority. Moreover, living in the 21st century, there are still conflicts happening in the world, causing children to leave primary school in conflict-affected countries, growing poverty, and ruining infrastructure. So how can you help to this cause? You can work with the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity to educate yourself and friends about their rights and responsibilities. By knowing your rights, you can protect yourself in possibly dangerous situations for your basic human and other rights. By educating others, you can help to prevent more youth and kids from getting into situations where they would be exploited or abused. You can provide them with information about access to legal services and others. This should be a separate class in your educational institution, and for your NGO, it can be a separate initiative that you start and run yourself. You may also run community workshops for conflict resolution. You can engage your teachers and peers or colleagues in a workshop about conflict management and resolution. This should be facilitated by a professional and can be a platform for your friends and yourself to learn about preventing violent resolution of conflicts, empathy, and emotional intelligence. You can participate in meetings between officials and underrepresented groups. You can contribute with a voice of your generation in a decision-making process by taking active part in meeting with your government representative, various youth working groups, etc. Again, globally, only 2% of parliamentarians are under 30 years old. This makes youth an underrepresented group, and you need to make an extra effort for your rights to be reflected and protected, and if you're an NGO, to make sure the youth in your area have their rights reflected and protected. One of the most underutilized tools is for everyone to vote. Closely linked to the previous point, using your voting rights to manifest your support to particular ideas or make your voice heard by different institutions. In the end, decision makers are made by those who show up. And if your representative isn't representing you, then you decide to become a representative yourself. For example, you can run for a public post. If the two previous actions are not enough for you, and you want to represent youth in official decision-making, you can always run for a public post. You can find inspiring examples around the world. For example, the Minister of Youth in the UAE is only 23 years old. Please stay updated with the news. Being up to date on what's going on in society helps you to be aware of rising conflicts, the current state of major governmental decisions, new laws that can influence you. Be well informed, and having access to information is a privilege and strength that you can use and need to share with your peers to be ready to make decisions on your own. Call out corruption attempts and don't give bribes. Even in the life of a teenager, student, or young professional, you might face attempts of bribery in different institutions, schools, hospitals, driving school, etc. Make a conscious decision not to support this behavior, even though it might seem easier to bribe than study or work for a particular thing. In case your family members, friends, or colleagues try to give or take a bribe, stand up for what you believe in and call them out. I want to thank everyone for joining us in this journey. And now we're going to address the final of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Partnerships for the goals. What is it about? The major countries around the world have made a commitment to mobilize financial resources for developing countries. They made a commitment to provide tech and innovation capacity building in developing countries. Capacity building of skills needed to implement the Sustainable Development Goals in developing countries. Increasing exports from developing countries, and execute data monitoring and accountability of progress. But the game cannot be won by one person, one company, or even just governments by themselves. This is everyone's responsibility if we want to make it happen. All sectors of the whole population must collaborate. How can you engage everyone to work for the Sustainable Development Goals? You can work or volunteer in NGOs that work with the SDGs. Every NGO that's participating with this particular workshop series is dedicating itself to be the ones where people reach out to. That makes it even more important that you yourself know what these Sustainable Development Goals are. Through volunteering with various NGOs, people in your community, locally and globally, can contribute through various projects in your own country or your own community to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. In particular, you can volunteer in developing countries in the field of capacity building for technology and innovation advancement, as well as education about sustainable development. That's what we're doing here, and this is what we're asking you to do to people in your immediate network. Also, you can fundraise for projects aligned to the Sustainable Development Goals. You can support a project directly with your resources to start a crowdfunding campaign to support existing initiatives aiming to help achieve the SDGs in one of the developing countries. Just visit one of these platforms to get inspired and decide how you want to support this cause. Now, if you're an NGO, you have to turn this around and you have to identify which of the Sustainable Development Goals you're participating with, and then attract support from those businesses and governments who already made a commitment. But you have to educate yourself to put yourself in the line and channel of the monies that are available. For those of us that are here from around the world, we can buy products from developing countries to improve the import and export exchange among Africa, Asia, the United States, and others. We can support exporting by creating demands for products from developing countries. I'm sure those of you in Africa know people in other parts of the world, and it's important for you to let them know how they can support your local efforts by arranging them to buy through you or buy to support you. Finally, keep governments and companies accountable. Get to know your government's plan to implement the Sustainable Development Goals. Every country has those plans. In some cases, for example, here in the United States, it's the city where I live in, Los Angeles, that has its own plan. So does our county and our state. You have to begin to mobilize where you are, not wait for others to do that. In this final note, you can use your citizenship power, voting, joining work groups, civil society organizations, to pressure businesses and governments to be accountable for the plan. Also use your money, your customer power, to influence businesses to implement sustainable practices. Maybe one person is not enough to make this happen, but you can start a movement in your own community to be noticed. It's up to all of us to take responsibility and achieve the goals that impact much more than only our own lives. That is the conclusion of today's presentation and our workshop. We want to give thanks. We want to give thanks to the sponsors of the guide. That will be the Asian Development Bank, Electrolux, JCI, Plan International, PwC, SDSN for the Sustainable Development. I'm sorry, UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network, Teach for All.
Yes.
Tata Consulting, UN Habitat, U-Report, World Organization of Scout Movement, World Vision, World Medic, World Merit, and Project Everyone. Pastor James, please be ready to take the podium. I'm winding up this presentation. In this particular publication, again, if you put your email address in the contact, we'll make sure you get it so that you'll be able to use all the information that's been provided to you in order for us to transform the world and join the effort for Youth for Global Goals to involve our youth in all the work that we're doing, because at the end of the day, we have to work to leave no one behind. Thank you so very much. This is the end of my portion of the presentation.
Well, thank you. Please, can you put two hands together wherever you have for the facilitator for this? If they are clapping, clap it well. If they are clapping, clap it well. This has been a wonderful one. Since day one, that clap is just for day one. Now put the day two together. Clap for day three and clap for day four. This is quite impressive. Thank you, everyone. You can see that it is all about passion. It is all about what you have that you can give out. And this is what His Excellency Ambassador Andrew Williams Jr. has put into place. He has the wealth idea, initiatives about the Sustainable Development Goals. He has trained thousands and series of people in this regard. And you are fortunate to be here today to be part of this program. And this is the 4th day of the training. So if you are here, I congratulate you. Because some of us have been working in our various organizations, working in our various communities, but yet we do not have the vast knowledge about the Sustainable Development Goals. And that is why Ambassador Andrew has taken more of his time to begin to expatiate, to introduce to us, to equip us, to give us the knowledge, idea about the Sustainable Development Goal from Goal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. And it took him 4 days to do this. He deserved another applause. Please, can we put hands together for him once again? Let's put hands together for him once again. It's not easy, but he has made it happen. On behalf of the participants, the learners,
Thank you, sir.
NGO holders, moderators,
you.
and everyone present here, we want to say thank you to His Excellency Ambassador Andrew Williams Jr. for this quite encouraging, educative program we have put together. Thank you. We really appreciate this, and this will not be taken for granted. And this moment, we want to listen to questions. Do you have any question before we ask you our question? Do you have any question for us?
Well, Pastor James, before we begin questions, we have a special guest from Pakistan, and there it's getting late. And this is our youngest ambassador. So, Augustine Joseph, could you please unmute and introduce yourself and your daughter and the work that she's doing? Now is your time.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much for your opportunity. I'm very thankful to you that you have asked us to join you. And it's very nice to meet you here, all the people here. And it was a great presentation. My daughter is 9 years old. Her name is Amelina Randhawa. She's also joined with you. Yeah. And she is working for peace. She's supporting peace, and she is a youngest peace ambassador.
Well, hello there. Is she going to introduce herself?
Who face there?
Yeah, I'm Amelina Randhawa, peace ambassador, and I'm from Pakistan. My school name is
Pakistan?
Yes, where is she? Please allow her to share her video so we can all see her. She was here earlier, so now's not the time to be shy.
I studied in 4th class, and my school name is Presentation Convent Girls High School.
Augustine, we cannot hear her. Put her in front of your camera. We need to see her. This is what you asked for, so let's make it happen.
Let's see her face. Let's see her face.
We're all here to support you.
Hello, brother. Hello, brother.
Yes, please. Hello, greetings. Thank you. Wait just a moment, please.
Yes, I'm Mother Mingle. I'm from Pakistan.
Yes, we understand that,
I'm
sir,
watching.
but you'll have to wait for us to complete your part of the presentation. Or you'll have to join us later. So, Augustine, we're going to have to move on now, unless you're able to have your daughter to tell us hello. We have to move on to our presentation, and she can then join us at the end. Okay, Ambassador James, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we can follow up with this introduction later. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I think they are still working on their audio or visual to join us here. So we'll be waiting for you, Augustina Joseph, and your daughter, so to talk to us. We'll be waiting for you. Please, at this time, this is interactive session. Do we have any question from anyone? Any question from anyone? Do you have any question? If there's no question, we are going to ask question. So that's why we want to know, and we want to be sure you are having question.
Well, if no one will give a question, then let me give an answer.
Okay. All right. Then let's ask questions, at least for us to evaluate you and to be sure you understand what we will be talking about and how you want to go about your programs after this training. I think at this moment, I have to ask you a question. Okay, are they set?
Wait just a moment.
Are they set?
Just a
Okay,
moment, Pastor James.
Your screen.
Just a moment. Yes. Yeah, just a
All right.
moment. I do want to share with you that you can go to globalgoals.org, and then you can find ways you can take action in your own local community. They actually have a quiz. It's free online, and you can be the one to find actually impacts one or more of the Sustainable Development Goals. It's very simple. You can take the quiz. Then you can create your own world to-do list. It takes less than 2 minutes to complete this. So any of you, if you're too or shy or bashful to have a conversation here, you can just go online at any time. Pastor James, I see that we have Justine, a lovely daughter, back now. Can you unmute and introduce yourself, young lady, now, or otherwise we'll have to get back to you later. Now's your opportunity. Augustine, please have your daughter introduce herself.
My daughter wants to say something.
Now, go.
Okay, Amelina, you can.
You said good that we should not cut trees for Christmas. We have to plant more trees for oxygen.
Well, that was short and sweet. Okay, back to you, Ambassador James.
Did you understand?
It was very low.
Did you understand her?
It was very low, Augustine. Can you repeat what she said so we can share it with our wider audience?
Actually,
Thank you.
she was saying that your suggestion, do not cut the trees on this Christmas.
Because we have not get good oxygen, so we have to plant more trees to get oxygen.
Repeat that for us, please, to make sure we hear it, Augustine.
Yeah, Andrew, she is saying that your suggestion that don't cut the trees on this Christmas to celebrate Christmas as Christmas tree. She is saying that we should plant trees on this Christmas to make a celebration on this Christmas.
Thank you very much, and welcome to our family. Mamadou Cisse, I see that your hand is raised. And if any of you others have comments, please raise your hands or put your information in the chat. Augustine, thank you so much for joining us. We'll follow up after this as well.
Okay, thank you.
Mamadou Cisse, you have your hand raised.
And we have to work together for peace in world, so that can we promote peace, and we have to join more people for supporting peace.
Thank you so much. Namaste. We appreciate that. Okay, Mamadou Cisse, you've raised your hands, and if not, then back to you, Pastor James. Thank you so much.
All right. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you for the contribution, and thank you for adding your voice here to promote peace. So we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you, and we are going to keep to that. And everyone, make sure you plant more trees this Xmas to show love to your community and to your environment. So thank you so much, Agostina Joseph from Pakistan, and your lovely baby. We appreciate you. Please, on our way forward, I think somebody's raising up his hand. Mohammed Sese. Mohammed Sese, can you say something? All right, go ahead, please. We can't hear you at all.
No, I'm afraid he'll have to type his information into the chat, Pastor James. The internet connection is not good. So I'll turn it back over to you.
Mohammed, you can type what you have to say because we can't hear you. The connection is bad. Hello? All right. Please, we want to ask questions from some of us to be sure you are following us up from the commencement of this program to now. Now, let me quickly ask Doris before she ran away. Doris, can you unmute yourself and quickly tell us what you have learned in this training? Doris, are you here with us, or you have run away? Doris?
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. Yeah, I've learned the Sustainable Development Goals, and the major one to note that this Christmas, I need not to cut the tree, just like the junior has just said it. Yeah, so maybe to give examples of the Sustainable Development Goals, I know that one, we look at no poverty, gender equality, good health and well-being, quality education, to mention but a few. Should I complete all of them? To mention but
we
a few.
just listen to you to hear what you have learned. So if that's what you could say, thank you so much. I would like to call Moses from Kenya. Moses Okero, what have you learned? And your organization, what area does the organization fall when it comes to sustainable development goals? Which area, which part, which goal are you really working on?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm deeply humbled to have attended this wonderful historical forum today. I've learned a few things here today for the last 4 days. For example, the global goals pyramid. We have the 16 SDGs 16 and 7 are for spiritual. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 are ecological. 1 up to 10 are people-centered for humanitarians. And now the organization I have in Kenya have identified over 6 SDGs that are in line with the objectives of our NGO. For example, we promote agriculture by strengthening or training farmers. That comes to zero hunger, whereby it talks about sustainable agriculture. We also do health. I've seen there's good health and well-being as one of the SDGs. We also do clean water, access to clean water and sanitation, which is also an SDG there. And many others like education, quality education, which some of them are part of objectives. So I'm very much thankful to His Excellency Andrew Williams Jr. for the great work he has done to us for the last 4 days. I'm equally more thankful to my leader, my friend, Ambassador Chaplain James Massey. Thank you all. God bless.
Wow. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much. I think these 4 days has been a blessing to you and to everyone joining us. I have not heard Gubara talk. Gubara, what have you learned in these 4 days? Gubara from Nigeria.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. So these past few days has been quite impactful. I work with an NGO here in northern Nigeria, and we are actually focusing on impacting the youth, how we can empower them to maybe some of them have a skill, and how we train them and also empower them to start a business. So it's also a way to help them get decent jobs or businesses as entrepreneurs for themselves. So it's actually part of supporting the SDG goals, just like we've learned. Supporting the SDG goals is by starting from your own local community and how you can help foster development, how you can volunteer with your resources, with your strengths, financially, or there are different ways you can actually volunteer to help. So these past few days is quite impactful for me. It has improved my skills and my knowledge on some things.
So thank you.
Thank you.
You have spoken well, so you have represented the participant from Nigeria. Let me quickly go to another country here. Winnie, where's Winnie joining us from? Winnie. Winnie. Okay. Kasmira, Jida. Where's it? Okay, I can say Winnie here. Go ahead, Winnie. We can hear you.
Hello.
Yes. What have you learned in this program, Winnie? We can hear you now.
I've learned a lot from this program. I've learned that we need to keep peace and justice. Lack of results in foods because they affect us. They affect our health in the process with time. Yeah, that is what I've learned so far.
All right, that's so quite interesting. I've seen a name here, read.ai meeting. Where are you joining us from? That is not the name of a person. We want to know who you are. Please read.ai meeting. Where are you from?
Well, that's
Wendy,
actually
please,
from.
can you mute yourself?
That's actually from me. It is our AI read assistant.
Okay.
So we can take notes here.
Okay. So I want to be sure who is there with us. Okay. Pascal, is Pascal here? Pascal. Pascal. So we're trying to be sure of those we are having here with us. And okay, if Pascal is not responding, please let me quickly get to Professor Anita. If you are here with us, then Tomesha should get set after Anita. Prof. Anita, can we hear from you if you are here with us today? What is your goodwill message to all the participants? Dr. Anita, we're waiting for you. All right. Is Dr. Tomesha Walker around? Okay. Anita is here. Please.
I'm here.
What's your goodwill message to everyone?
Hello, everyone. God bless you. It's always an honor and a privilege to meet with all of you. I am excited and looking forward to collaborating with many of your organizations. Thank you for those who have already gotten in touch with me. We are making plans even for Human Rights Day coming up December 5th. If you are interested, I am definitely interested in working with several of you to use human rights in order to pursue the Sustainable Development Goals. So there's opportunity there. Also, many of you are aware that I'm also a digital brand consultant to help you to push your brand, to help you to push your NGO, your nonprofit. We want to propel you so that you are seen and heard and well known on your social media, your branding, all of the things. So if that's something that you need help with, I just want to offer that to you. There's many things that you can get for free. And also much thanks to His Excellency Chaplain James Mercy. Oh, thank you so much for this platform. Thank you so much for bringing us all together. This is incredible. And to His Excellency, Dr. Andrew, thank you so much for how you have so eloquently explained the Sustainable Development Goals for us and made this accessible for us. I'm looking forward to seeing many of you in the WhatsApp group and connecting there as well. So God bless you and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prof. Anita. It's a great pleasure having you with us here too. So thank you. We're going to connect more and see our way forward. It's a pleasure having you. Dr. Tomesha Walker, are you here with us, please?
I am.
Wow.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you so
Okay.
much. As Dr. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. As Dr. Anita said, we are extremely excited to be here, appreciating all that you have provided. This has been just an extreme blessing. So I had an opportunity, I've worked with the SDG goals previously. And so it's been exciting, though, to have more understanding of them. We primarily work with goal number 3, even though we have multiple ones that we collaborate with. So I'm just appreciative, and I thank you so much for allowing us to be here, to have this platform. And any, as she said, of you that would love to connect, I would also love to connect with you as well. As we mentioned yesterday, we have a show and we are interested in interviewing additional guests on there and then collaborating to come together and do more within our communities and across the globe. So thank you so much for inviting us here. I look forward to chatting more. And thank you to all of our presenters for sharing in such a clear and engaging manner. So have an amazing rest of your day. And thank you so much for giving us this opportunity and letting us to learn so much.
All right, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. And with this, I think we still need to put a WHOPE networking platform here where we have multiple of NGOs, people coming together to network with one another, with each other. So we're going to drop the link on the platform to join the WHOPE networking platform where you can easily network with anyone that has same vision with your organization. So thank you, Dr. Tumesha, for being here with us and sharing your view and your SDGs. And I want to quickly say this. I don't know if Bay is here. Savwa Bay, are you here with us? So please, Savwa Bay. He's the chaplain. He has also been working with us from United States, connecting us from one organization programs to the other. So we are not just here for training, also for connections to work together in synergy. Savwa Bay, if you are here with us, quite unmute yourself. Then Maurizio Blois from Italy. Maurizio Blois from Italy. I don't know if you can hear me. Maurizio Blois, we appreciate your coming. If you have anything to say in Italy, we are welcome.
Okay.
Well, young lady, if you can unmute yourself, now's the time to speak. If not, back to you, Pastor James. Well, Pastor James, many people have to leave soon. Maybe we could take this opportunity to share our videos and get our photos now, because yesterday, many people had already left when we did the photo sharing. So perhaps now I'm going to share the gallery. And if we choose to, now's the time to take our photos. And then over to you, Pastor James. I'm going to share now our gallery so that everyone that can show their video can be able to be in this picture. So now's that time. Surprise, surprise, surprise. So Pastor James, are you there to take pictures? Well, anyone who takes a picture, just make sure Pastor James gets a copy and we'll be able to share it with our wider group. But we are also live streaming on Facebook. So you can also go to the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity Facebook page. Unfortunately, I was forced to share it on my own personal profile. And it may not be showing on the WHOPE until I'm able to upload the YouTube video later today. So I'm Andrew Williams Jr. And on Facebook, it's Andrew Williams Jr. It's streaming there live. So you can also go there to be able to see us all there. And I'll share that to other places as well. So we're going to start taking pictures as soon as Pastor James is able to reconnect with us so that he can be part of this plan as well. Thank you so much for being here. Again, I'm Andrew Williams Jr. I'm president of 5 Points Youth Foundation, FIVE pointsyouthfoundation.org here in Los Angeles, California. But Pastor James is also a member of our ad hoc International Advisory Board of Goodwill Ambassadors from around the world. We launched this in 2020, at that time focusing on tourism for the SDGs. That was before COVID hit. So now we're gearing up again to get ready to invite people to become ambassadors. We want you to go to the WHOPE website and register as a volunteer if you have not already, and indicate which of the 3 Sustainable Development Goals your organization is working on from the top 3, the ones that you're focused on and others that you care about. Then we'll put together a list of those who have similar goals and objectives so you can work together in groups, but we're all working together for Sustainable Development Goal number 17, which is Global Partnerships for the Goals. Well, it looks like we're gonna have to take pictures twice. So anyone there, now's the time to take your photo. And when Pastor James is able to get back to us, we'll take additional photos. So I'm going to give it a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for anyone here to be able to take photos, and make sure you share that with Pastor James, and then we'll share it with the entire community. One more time, we're going to do a Hollywood do-over. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's the time for the photos. Okay, this is, we still have more people joining with the photos. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for waving at us. And I guess it's okay for us to all wave to our community, and we'll do this again at the very end. So thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it and love you all. I see Chaplain James. I see you're back with us. Are you able to show your video, Chaplain James?
Yes, I'm trying to see how we can, the certificate I sent to you, how we can show them some of those certificates. Those that are just joining us for today, I don't know how we're going to do that.
It's very simple.
Help out on that.
It's very simple. If today is the first day you joined us and you want to get your certificate, please put that information in the chat. Indicate this is your first time here, and we'll send you the videos for all the 4 days that we've had. But everything comes down to one publication, and we'll be able to send that out to you, and we'll be happy to make sure you get a certificate of appreciation. We do thank you, even if you're only here for 1 second and you are able to join us, you're part of our family. So thank you so much. Pastor James, I'm going to share my screen briefly with our original flyer, our poster. We're not ending now, but I do want to make sure you understand that this is part of our 4-day volunteer workshop. And as you can see, this is being moderated by myself, Honorable Andrew Williams Jr., Chaplain James Mercy Obentumibi, but also Dr. Meenakshi Sauni from India. Although she's not here in person, she's here in spirit. So Pastor James, I'm going to turn it back over to you for wrapping up today and let us know how we're going to proceed from here. Thank you so much for your time and efforts. Back to you, Pastor James.
Thank you, Salem. If I can quickly share from here. Okay. Permit me to share this. Please, can you all see my? Can you all see this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, this is the certificate for this training. Anything different from this is not coming from WHOPE. And congratulations to this loan, which I'm not sure she's here today, but these are the attendance we have taken for 3 days. This is Blama Baku. We have Kesmre Jida. We have Tumesha De Walker. We have Arom Motete Ade Niji Alex. We have Emmanuel Etu. We want to congratulate you for having this with us. And and there's any issue on the certificate, you can easily reach us back. Congratulations to Bankole Sunday, Tayo Ishola, Festus Obago, Raphael Onekene, then Winnie. Congratulations to Fola. Congratulations to Umaru, to Victor, congratulations. Uba Audi, congratulations. Professor Anita Makane, congratulations. Ajayi Timothy, congratulations. Mohammed Sesset, congratulations. Kalibi, congratulations. And Doris, congratulations. And Gift, we have so many of them. Peter Smith and Moses, Joseph, Bara, Julius, and Ajayi, Justina, and so on and so forth. We just want to say congratulations to all of you for being part of this training for this 4 days. Thank you. And we want to quickly announce this. For next week, we are starting another program for Monday through Thursday, same time, which is 2 p.m. my time. I don't know your time. To mention is my time. So same time, same station, same link. Next year, next week, we are going to have that. We are planning to have multiple trainings before this year runs out. As God help us, we are going to make that happen. And next week, we want to go strictly on the sustainable goal for the United Nations Global Compact. Quite different from this we have learned. So we are going for the United Nations Global Compact next week. It's quite different from what we have learned this week. So let's be there next week as well, from Monday to Thursday, to be part of the training. On Thursday, we are going to run it up and award certificate as well in the next program we will be handling. When it talks about human rights, it talks about labor, it talks about environment, and so on and so forth. So we're going to share this link again for those that are just joining us. Though if you are here today, that means you have the link. For next week, it's still the same link for everyone to join. And for today, we would like to say thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. And if anybody have anything to say, I think this is the right time to talk about it. Honorable William Jr., thank you for taking us this far. I don't know if you have anything to say concerning the program for next week, the next training. Ambassador Andrew.
Well, yes, thank you so very much. Actually, I've said everything I had in mind to say earlier in expressing my appreciation to all of you. I do want to give you a little bit of a background, and I'm going to share my screen briefly, because earlier it was mentioned that December 10th is the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So all the Sustainable Development Goals are based upon human rights. I'm going to share with you, however, what is coming up next week. We're going to be focusing on the United Nations Global Compact. This is an organization that was founded in 2000, alongside the Millennium Development Goals. It was founded by Kofi Annan, the first General Secretary of the United Nations from Sub-Saharan Africa. Alongside the Millennium Development Goals, he created this organization. And as you see, there are 10 principles involved. It begins where we started out with human rights, focusing on 10 principles. The first two, businesses should support and respect the protection of internationally proclaimed human rights. And principle two, make sure they're not complicit in human rights abuses. The second pillar is labor. Businesses should uphold the freedom of association and the effective recognition of the right to collective bargaining. Principle four, the elimination of all forms of forced and compulsory labor. Principle five, the effective abolition of child labor. And principle six, the elimination of discrimination in respect of employment and occupation. The third pillar is environment. Businesses should support a precautionary approach to environmental challenges. Principle 8, undertake initiatives to promote greater environmental responsibility. And Principle 9, encourage the development of diffusion of environmentally friendly technologies. The one that relates, I think, to SDG 16 and SDG 17 is anti-corruption. Businesses should work against corruption in all its forms, including extortion and bribery. And of course, we know these apply not just to businesses, but to also governments and non-governmental organizations. So Pastor James, we took a photo earlier of all our participants. I'm ready to turn it over to you to close. The ball is in your court, sir. And if Pastor James is not able to join us, let me be the one to close and give thanks to all of you for participating with this 4-day workshop dealing with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. We look forward to working with you going forward. And please, in the chat, make sure we have your email and contact information so that we can follow up with you. I don't think I put mine in there, but it's very easy. It's Andrew, ANDREW, at andrewnetworks.com. So I look forward to finding ways we can work and network together with you throughout the rest of this year, the rest of this decade decade of action to deliver the Sustainable Development Goals, the rest of Agenda 2063. We're now moving from the first 10-year implementation plan of the Agenda 2063 into the second 10-year implementation plan. So we want to thank all of you for participating from around the world. And with that, we're going to come to a close. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we look forward to following up with you. Please go to our WHOPE website, that's w-hope.org, and register as a volunteer so you can become part of our team. That's the end of today's show. Thank you so much. We're at an end.